toys and TV shows, comics and collecting and superheroes. There's no end to the useless stuff they know. But don't call them geeks, they're just regular Joes.
Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
301, everybody. We won't mention the numbers, but thank you all for listening to episode 300. More on that later.
We are now into the 300s. That's crazy.
That's it.
I was thinking about that today, and it's insane that we've done over 300 shows. It's nuts.
Yes, it is.
I was listening to Hardwick's podcast, which doesn't nearly have the guests they used to have, unfortunately for him. He's over 1,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But he used to also do a couple a week.
Yeah, and he's probably making $100,000 a piece on them.
Okay.
Or if we cleared
was.
20,000 a piece, we're lucky.
I was just going to say, you gave me barely 10 last week. What's going on?
Yeah, well, there's overhead.
Okay, sure.
Today, okay, we're just gonna talk about some news outside of random, some other stuff. I think we have what's in the box. We'll do stuff like that. But hey, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, the website. Right, we have pictures from all of the episodes on the website. Right, Todd? That's all you.
All but the last 2 weeks. I'll get caught up.
Okay. But check all that out. I think people are enjoying that because it's easy one place to see everything. So
yeah,
check all that out. But let's go random. Tempted to go first.
There's a lot of random
raise your
tonight.
Hand. What?
I think there's a lot of random tonight. A lot of late breaking news.
There's a lot of random.
Is there? I may have missed something, but let's not.
Todd wants to go first. Todd's wearing the shirt, so let him go first.
I want to go first. Yep, I am wearing the shirt.
Thing. Okay, go ahead, and I'll just bitch about it. Go ahead.
What
do you got?
the shit, people?
Wait,
Marvel Studios will no longer produce Spider-Man films for Sony Pictures. What?
Give it time. A, there wasn't even a movie on the calendar, and B, money solves all, and I don't think Disney's going to let it walk.
Yeah, this blows my mind. It's like
I can't imagine
Sony is more associated with things that used to be than things that are. Okay, and they're going to take one thing that's being done really, really well, and they're going to put this in jeopardy.
It also would appear that they just set him up to be a main player in the next phase of Marvel. So to have him pulled out from under seems unlikely, which Sony knows, and that's probably why they're playing hardball.
The movie that they just produced is the highest grossing movie Sony Pictures has ever had.
Yes.
Yeah. And
which is crazy.
What apparently Marvel has proposed was a 50-50 co-financing arrangement between them, and which I'm sure means the same thing on profits. And is anybody at Sony seen the past 5 Spider-Man films and noticed something different about the 2 most recent ones? I
also think that their share of $500 million is still better than what they were doing on their own.
But this is the thing: they weren't doing it on their. They were swinging and missing on their own, and these are basically rights holders. Okay, they have never done anything with Spider-Man that's defined Spider-Man in any significant way. Marvel just opened up an avenue for this character for the next decade. And attached a cash machine to it in every possible way, and they want to separate from that.
I don't know if you got the other story, which I had in my random before this broke tonight. So the other piece of this is that Sony is apparently working on multiple Spider-Man TV series using the 300 characters that they own. 300 characters.
Nine. There are 900 characters associated with Spider-Man that Marvel Studios does not have access to without going through Sony.
Okay, and the article I read said 3, but even if it's 3,
it's probably 300 that anyone has ever heard of.
Right.
But
so what it sounded like from this article was that they are planning an Arrowverse type series of shows that all tie together. And Lord and Miller, the guys that did Into the Spider-Verse, the Lego Movie, and the guys that were fired from Solo, are in charge of this. They've been hired by Sony to be in charge of this Spider-Verse or whatever they're calling it. So, Sony clearly has designs on what they want to do with Spider-Man now that he's so popular again.
Right. Yeah, actually, I wasn't even counting Into the Spider-Verse. So really, basically, of the last 6 Spider-Man films, the three worth watching were done in association with Marvel Studios.
Right, but Spider-Verse was all Lord and Miller, so...
Yeah, but I'm still, it's
not fighting.
Yeah.
They're re-releasing it for Labor Day to squeeze more money out of it, which I got a problem with that. I didn't like when they did it with Endgame, and I don't like that they're doing it with this. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that seems a little weird.
The movie comes out, people go see it. They're adding 4 more minutes in it, and I don't know if this is a Marvel thing or a Sony thing. It sounds like a Marvel thing because it's just like Endgame. You add 4 minutes, and then you re-release it to try to... That's you're better than that.
But those 4 minutes are going to be on the Blu-ray when it comes out a month later.
They're going to be on the Blu-ray anyways.
But I just think it's a little bit of a cash grab. Like, you don't need it.
It is, but I will also say there's nothing for movies out this summer. There's been nothing for movies out this summer. And, it's, I don't know. There could be 3 people that haven't seen it. Who knows?
Yeah, but if are they gonna do that with every movie now? Is that going to be their thing? Let's add a little something and then re-release it.
We watched the Endgame 4K Blu-ray the other night, and then last night we watched all the deleted scenes and featurettes and all that stuff. And I know they added some of that stuff into the re-release that they did. There wasn't a single thing other than maybe the Stan Lee tribute that was really worth watching on any of the deleted scenes or outtakes or featurettes or whatever. So, if that's what they're adding to these things, it's not worth going back to the theater and paying that much money to see it again.
It's lame. That's a lame thing.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Barry, what do you got?
So another thing that was announced today, Warner's is making a 4th Matrix movie with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, and Lana Wachowski is writing and directing. So only one of the 2 Wachowski sisters is involved, apparently. So no other information is available, they said, other than the fact that...
Why would he do that? He does not. Doesn't he know better than that?
Maybe it's one of those scripts that almost is a great bookend to the first movie, and maybe you don't need the second and third movie.
See, this is what I think. I think they're going to wake up in their little tanks, okay, and they're going to have imagined the everything after the first movie, and now they got to fix it again. So...
those movies are so bad, no one even knows about them. It's not even like Crystal Skull or Temple of Doom. People know all about them. I don't think anyone's ever watched those ever. They're never on anything. No one talks about them. No one cares about them. That's how bad they are.
And I got to say, they again, we talked about this a few weeks ago, but they put a stake through that franchise.
I don't think Keanu Reeves would sign on unless he's seen a script and feels strongly about it. He was.
God, are we going to get back into Keanu Reeves doesn't make bad decisions again?
He hasn't lately.
He makes sequels. This is what he does.
He's no Tom Cruise. We know that, right?
Keanu Reeves makes sequels, okay? And he's into the sequel period in his life. He's making John Wick movies and sequels. There was a big check attached to the front page of this script. It was the only reading he did. I don't know.
I don't really feel he's that guy, but
I'm really dubious about this.
I don't know. I wouldn't even do that one of those Matrix movies as a drinking commentary. They're not even. At least Crystal Skull is interesting and there's something to talk about. Those movies are just
Barry,
plain.
hold on a second. Write this down.
No, that's gonna be
Interesting.
my new
And
ringtone.
Something to
Good.
talk about was what the man just said, right?
That's gonna be
Not
my
interesting to
ringtone
talk
now.
about.
Episode 301. Write that down. Okay. I will agree. I have no interest in ever seeing either of those two films again, and I won't.
I think I own them too, which is horrible.
Oh,
I own
Somebody
them.
gave to me.
Jesus.
I have a Blu-ray with all three of them.
Why?
The box, the box set should be just one movie. I think I have the Matrix, the director's cut, and the other two. Oh, awful.
I'm with you. Those two movies are awful, but this is one of those where I just want to hold out hope that maybe it's a good movie.
Okay,
So let's
Barry's
talk
back to
about
the
the.
same
Let's
old
talk
Barry.
about the.
Wait, didn't
you
we
can't
agree
go home
via
with-
text the other day? I was going to be the guy for the next 300 episodes that just shit on everything.
shit on everything?
Should.
That's right.
You're
So-
doing a bad job.
You're
of
doing
it.
a bad job. So let's talk about the you can't go home again syndrome with these films. So the big thing right now is to dredge up a property that's 20, 30, 40 years old, whatever, and revisit it. So far, I think in terms of wins, we have Blade Runner and
Yeah,
The
that's a
Force
win.
Awakens.
I hate to say it too, both Keanu and Carrie-Anne look nothing like they looked in The Matrix
This
anymore.
is what I'm saying. It's like it's for virtual. Again, there's got to be. But what else? They've redone a
Tron.
bunch.
Tron was horrible.
Tron was not bad. Tron Legacy is better than Tron.
I got
both-
very
they both
okay.
suck.
I'm going to say, having rewatched Tron before watching Tron Legacy, I will agree with that.
Tron is
I
unwatchable
totally
in the
agree.
modern
Let me
era.
ask you this: take Olivia Wilde. Is that who's in it?
Oh,
out
yeah.
of Tron Legacy. Is it worth watching?
I wouldn't go back and rewatch it on purpose. It's not bad though.
They're both suck.
Like that. I just want to accidentally rewatch Tron Legacy. I tripped and it was on.
I run past it on cable all the time, and I don't even stop for 2 seconds. to
Oh
look.
God, I haven't thought about that movie since we talked about it.
I enjoyed it, but notice
but
they never
is
made
there-
any more. Weren't they supposed to be making a whole trilogy and they never made another one?
Yeah, I think there's a reason for that.
So what you're saying is what has rebooted from years ago that has done a
the
good
Terminator
job?
stuff has been bad. I think, and even the Force Awakens. Again, there were movies in between, but that went back to that harkened back to the original 3 films. So I would give the Force Awakens yes,
Rogue
and I
One,
would give
yes.
Blade Runner.
You got to count Rogue One.
No, because Rogue
No, I
One
mean,
isn't
he's
the
just
same.
talking about
Is a
properties.
prequel to the original films. What I'm saying is take the characters and revisit them, and by that I mean Han
Okay.
Solo.
Fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
Han Solo. So
What else has there been?
Terminator, which
Kingdom
have all
of the
been
Crystal Skull.
bad.
Terminator, not good.
Terminator, not good. Again, there's this. We're going to see Rambo soon.
Well, and Keanu is also doing Bill and Ted's movie.
Bill and Ted. This is what I'm saying. It's
That could be a whole show, or at least part of a show. Let me ask you this: and we've talked about this, and I don't know if this one came up. Is The Matrix the dichotomy of a great movie with such a massive fail as the sequel? Is that the worst one we've seen?
That's a good question. It probably is the only one that was followed by 2 incredibly crappy movies.
Yeah. But I would put, and I know we don't talk about that much, and they've probably been just soiled by the sequels, but Matrix is a great movie. I mean,
It
there's
is.
so much
Absolutely.
groundbreaking.
It's just been. It was ruined by that.
Is there any other movie that was
Highlander is probably the.
Highlander
Okay.
is not as good,
No, it wasn't as good to begin
but
with. But
the
I'm saying
second one is as bad.
I would say they Highlandered Matrix. Okay.
Highlander 2 is really, really bad.
It
But
is, and if
Highlander
you
1
count-
was not, I guess at its time, yeah.
If you count like Alien and Aliens, and you go from there. Everything after that was downhill.
Yeah,
bad.
there's still, even from Aliens to Alien 3 is not the gap that is Matrix and Matrix whatever came out.
I don't know. I
don't think either 3 or 4, Aliens 3 or 4, are as even approach the Matrix movies.
No, I don't think they
the
do.
2 follow-up Matrix movies.
Yeah.
I think they're both bad. I think they were bad decisions, but I think they were competent executions of bad decisions.
I don't know, man. I go back to, you spend an entire one of the greatest movies of our time that we all love dearly, and you spend the whole movie trying to save this little girl, and in the opening scene of the sequel, you kill the little girl.
I'm
and
with you. I just
don't make me talk about The Last Jedi. But anyways, again, yes, the whole thing about throwing away the priest, I agree. But I'm saying
going back a long time. These are
yeah. But
they were talking sequels. You're right. Last Jedi is it. You're right.
So
okay.
But no, but I'm saying, Barry, is where you throw away everything from the previous film.
Yeah.
And yes, there's many problems with 3 and 4, but I'm saying both of them were competent, decent films. They just were, again, they were bad decisions. They're bad directions to go in. But if you watch those films with no pre-expectations,
they're not as bad as the Matrix ones.
They're not as bad as
think
as
about
a lot of sci-fi films.
How many movies have come since? You had Alien 3, Alien 4, Prometheus, Alien.
They've all been bad.
What was the other one?
All been
Prometheus.
bad.
You had all these Alien vs Predator. Anything having to do with aliens since Aliens has been shit.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
And then they've got this
again,
script out there that everybody wanted to make, but the studio won't let them make it. I don't know.
Anyway, let us know what you think is the worst sequel to a great movie.
Yeah. I've got one other random if you guys are...
Go ahead.
Sure,
I got one quick one.
All right, so...
one more, too.
And go ahead and make fun of me. I don't care.
Oh,
The
boy.
trailer for Season 2 of Star Wars Resistance came out this week. That was the bad animated show that you guys watched one episode of, and I watched the entire season of. They have apparently announced that this is going to be the second and final season.
Good.
It starts October 6th. It takes place post-Force Awakens and either in the middle of or right after The Last Jedi. They're in space now. They're not on the space station anymore. And it looks like they are trying to use this as a way of bridging the gap to Episode 9. There's all kinds of interesting stuff in the trailer, and actually a lot more action in this 2-minute trailer than there was in 22 episodes of this show.
I also watched the trailer.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And I will say, well, I want to ask you, does anything in this trailer resemble anything you saw in the series? Because I find the trailer reasonably compelling.
There were elements of all
I feel like
that.
I really watched this and said, based on the show that I saw 3 episodes of, this is either colossally bait and switch, or they're going in a completely different direction.
By the end 2 or 3 episodes of the season, it had gotten to this type of direction. I remember saying to you when I did my final wrap-up of that it had gotten marginally better. I was never going to go so far as to say it was a good show, but it had gotten better. But in the trailer, they had... you got the First Order, you got bounty hunters. They're bringing back that Kanji Club bounty hunter that was chasing Han Solo in The Force Awakens. There was a Hutt in there. Kylo Ren's in there. It's like, well, all right. Maybe they're trying to bring it more into the fold. I watched the first season. I'll probably watch the second season. But I just thought it was interesting that it did seem like they really were trying to do something different with this than they had done before. So,
Interesting.
There's also a trailer for some new animated thing they're doing on the website where all the characters are BB-8s. This is for really little children, but Han and Luke and Rey and everybody are balls with heads on them. Yeah.
That's horrible. Yep. I wish you didn't say that.
So wait a minute. So do we get to see like little ball hand shivved and fall into the shaft? I mean, it's like
it was bad. I watched the trailer.
Oh my god!
Oh, God, who was that? Kathleen
don't
Kennedy's pet project?
You know what it's called? It's called Star Wars Rollout. Get it? They all roll.
Oh my god!
Okay, that I would buy is an April Fool's joke that was poorly timed, but we'll see. Yeah. Dave, are you going to do the Bond one, or am I?
The what?
The Bond one.
Oh, I don't have a Bond one. I just had a quick one. Stephen Amell's got a new show. He's after Arrow. He goes to Stars for a drama about like small town professional wrestling. Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd watch that.
Heels.
8 episodes. We'll see.
I just sent you guys a picture of the Star Wars Rolly.
I was going to say, the two people I talked to on text are here. Why is somebody texting me?
It's the Star Wars Rolly Polies I sent you.
Oh, my God. All right, quickly do the Bond one, and then we'll move on, because it's
okay.
late.
The title for Bond 25, No Time to Die.
A Time to Kill, Die Another Day.
Well, and what time? It's time to die, Mr. Bond, right?
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
No time to die, Mr. Bond. Yeah, no.
Okay, who's the? You're not allowed to say Bond girl anymore. I think.
No, why not?
No.
That's what they're saying.
Leia Sado is back, so that's interesting. This is, have they done, other than like a Moneypenny type character, have they had a female character return?
I don't know.
Okay.
Tracy returned in the grave.
Yeah.
What's the odds of her making out of this thing alive?
Yeah, that's
not going to happen.
Yeah. Here we go. Bond has left active service and is enjoying a tranquil life in Jamaica. Why is that? Fitting?
That's where Ian Fleming went.
Absolutely.
That's where
his
GoldenEye
piece is short-lived when his old friend Felix Leiter turns up asking for help. The mission is to rescue a kidnapped scientist who turns out to be far more treacherous than expected, leading Bond onto the trail of mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. Okay.
Felix Leiter's still the same dude, Westworld guy?
I
would imagine.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good Felix Leiter.
Yeah.
It's not Jack Lord with the girl's sunglasses, is it?
Yeah. Who was Felix Leiter in the was it Bernie Casey? Was Bernie Casey Felix Leiter in God, who was Felix Leiter in the Timothy Dalton ones? I think it was.
Was he?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was. I didn't think that was him.
Which movie? I'll tell you who it was. In License to Kill was David Heitzen.
David Heighton. He died, I thought, in one of those. I can't remember. Go refer to the podcast James Bonding. They'll answer. Okay. Matt and Matt will answer everything you need to know about James Bond.
Yes, Jack Lord, Secklinder, Rick Van Nutter, Norman Burton, David Hedison, John Terry, Jeffrey Wright, Bernie Casey, 1983.
There you go. Jeffrey Wright's the new guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. Anything else? Too bad. Fanboy Collectibles, check them out. Lots of stuff out there.
A lot of new stuff.
Hot toys. There's a Spider-Man from a video game no one cares about, but if you're into video games, check it out. Indoor Leah.
Yeah, with Barry? Wicket the Ewok.
With Wicket, you ordering that?
I've got to decide if I'm definitely ordering something. I just don't know if I'm just getting Wicket or if I need another Leia figure. It's a pretty good-looking figure, though.
You can't have Wicket by itself. What else? Hot Toys Count Dooku, I believe, is in stock.
They've got Blitzway, Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure 2-pack.
There you go.
1/6 scale.
And here's something that Hasbro Black Series Luke X-Wing helmet up for pre-order. Let me tell you something, people. It's like $110. The EFX ones,
the one on your shelf, yes,
are selling for like $1,500. Grab this. It looks good. I may get one myself.
I may get one too.
I don't know why, but you need that. There's no way that this is 15 times better than the Black Series one. It looks good, and it's either a re-release of Vader helmets coming out too. Another Black Series Vader.
And I don't know if he's got it on pre-order yet, but they're doing a Black Series Boba Fett, which supposedly has more paint apps to it than anything they've ever done in Hasbro's history.
These Black Series have been great. So if you're looking for an X-Wing helmet, You cannot go wrong with this one. I'm just throwing it out there. There's a couple of Iron Studios. There's a really cool in-game Iron Man. There's a Daredevil, Todd. I don't know if you saw that one. In front of like the church window. That's cool. Hot Toys, Sideshow, Pops, statues, obviously helmets. Anything you need, check them out. FanboyCollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them the Regular Joe sent you. Todd's ordering stuff right now. I have a feeling.
I am, yeah, actually. So.
I don't know why I would get that helmet, but
why? So you have one to
that
wear
and sell the other one. I need one to just wear, and it has effects and stuff.
You know, when you're driving your Corvette, you should be wearing that helmet.
Oh, I should, but you know what I've seen?
That would be awesome.
I do have my hand dice hanging from the mirror. There is a motorcycle helmet painted like Luke's X-wing helmet.
Oh, really?
That
cool.
is cool. I think it was a commercial thing.
Almost makes me want to get a motorcycle just for that.
I know. I'm gonna get. I was been watching comedians in cars getting coffee. I don't know if you guys watch.
Sometimes,
this. It's funny. On one of them, he's driving Vespas, and I'm like, I need like a 1960s Vespa.
I've got a friend that is restoring one. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's what I'm saying. I think it'd be cool to restore. It can't be that hard.
No, if you have a little bit, if you're mechanically inclined, no, it shouldn't be that hard.
I should get that. If anyone has an old Vespa, let me know. Because what do you think a new Vespa costs? Like a 2018, 2019 Vespa? Anybody?
$5,000?
7,500. That's as much as you can almost buy a Harley for that. Maybe not.
Well,
but you can certainly buy a good motorcycle.
You haven't priced Harleys for a while.
Yeah, you can buy. I was looking.
You can get a Harley for $10,000.
BMW motorcycle.
You can get a Harley for $10,000.
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe not all
BMW motorcycles
tricked out, but you could
6 to 10. Anyway,
hey, did you guys see?
Okay.
I guess this is random, but whatever. Rhode Island Comic Con is announcing. They're calling this Star Trek Week. They're announcing Star Trek guests this week. They announced Ethan Peck.
Did they announce anyone today?
Ethan Peck.
Oh, excellent!
So all week they're going to be announcing Star Trek
at this
guests.
show. There's a lot of good people.
It is really shaping up to be a fantastic show, and I told you guys via text. I have planned to go to 5 shows over the years that Robert Patrick was going to be at, and he's always canceled. He is announced for Rhode Island Comic Con. Goddamn,
and he will do it again.
Better not cancel.
No, he canceled today.
Yeah, probably.
No, he didn't. My plan is to record Friday night because of last time's Saturday night was sort of that party.
Yeah.
They're having a party both nights.
Are they both at the
Hopefully
hotel?
They'll do it somewhere else.
The parties?
I don't know. That would suck.
Well, we had a good time last year no matter what, but it definitely wasn't our best year.
I think we record Friday night, see how it goes.
Recording.
Yep.
Anyway, okay. Other news, Obi-Wan potential TV series, which for all the news about it, sounds like just one of those things that they leak out so everyone talks about it before it gets announced probably this coming weekend at D23. What do we think about that? Do we think that's a definite thing?
Well, my first reaction was it's another story that literally has no basis in anything. Like it's one of those sources close to what nothing has been said officially, but this has been sort of on and off again, in and out for 2 years. I think it's inevitable. Like Thanos.
Well, it was a movie project that got
It was
spiked.
a movie project that got canceled when Solo shit the bed. Yes.
Right. So this has been...
It didn't. I don't think that's even true. You shouldn't say
no,
that.
From the studio's point of view. I loved Solo.
And Todd's point of view. Anyway,
Yes.
go ahead.
I would say that the studio and I were both disappointed in different ways by Solo.
You know what the interesting thing is? Let's just say it was a movie project. That means they had a script of some sort, and now they're going to do a TV show. Did they expand the script? Did they scrap the movie script and go some
God,
new
I hope
story?
so. Like, there is a story that to tell here, and I actually read an article the other day online that said if they want the story, they should look at those 3 issues of the Star Wars comic that Barry and I read. And they're absolutely right. It is, his life on Tatooine would be a really interesting story, and he's not committed to stay there. He could leave and come back.
But they won't do that because they have never gone to a comic book for inspiration for this stuff.
But again, I'm saying in a general sense. I'm not saying lean on it heavily. The other thing is,
he's got to do something. It's going to be interesting.
Yes.
Right. The other thing is, do we know that he wasn't working with like Bail Organa doing something in that time in between?
We don't know anything
was Leia
about
bringing him the message because they hadn't heard from him for 15 years or 16 years?
Leia's message to him was, my father fought with you in the Clone Wars. It wasn't, you saw my father 6 months ago at that mission. It was, my father hasn't seen you in 10 years.
It could also be, she may not have known all the details of, she could have very sketchy details.
I don't think so, Todd. Even in Rogue One, the dialogue is, I sent my most trusted person on this mission. Like, she knows everything that's going on. She's hand in glove with her dad.
I don't think that's an issue, though. We're not going to see a movie or a TV show of him sitting in a cave. He's going to do stuff.
Yeah. Oh, there's going to be stuff. Sure and again, I think I'd love to go back to Tatooine and just see what, I think there's interesting stories that they can tell there.
Well, and I've recommended to both of you guys over the years that the Kenobi novel, which is him on Tatooine doing really interesting shit for a couple of years, is a great story. So, and I'm not suggesting that they follow that either, but I'm agreeing with you that there's a ton of stuff they could do with him on that planet that doesn't have to be sitting around watching over Luke from macro binoculars from 100 miles away.
Absolutely. There's tons for him. They could put it 6 months after, episode 3, and
10 years.
They could put it here.
No, but I'm saying 10 years, and then you got a 10-year-old Luke that he's got to keep out of trouble from afar.
And
that
Jake
makes
Lloyd
an interesting story.
10-year-old Luke.
No, but I'm saying then there's potential. You need.
Are you an angel?
Yeah.
I've made you a
Do we need Luke in this? I'd prefer he not be in it.
Well, not like actively, but I'm saying there needs to be.
It would be cool if there was if he saw him, but there wasn't a big interaction, and they certainly don't go on a mission together. Luke is clearly aware of that crazy old wizard in the desert.
Even more than knows him, he even seems to be, again, if he had childhood associations with him, okay, his reaction to him is appropriate when they first meet in Star Wars. Because I actually went to see this last week. I saw Star Wars last weekend, and I thought about it from that standpoint because we'd been talking about this. And the way he greets him could be that old dude that you haven't seen since you were like 13.
Well, but he does mention when R2 says that he belongs to Obi-Wan Kenobi, he mentions that to Uncle Ben or Uncle Owen, and Uncle Owen says, "Oh, that crazy old wizard," So there's an
who
association
I told you to stay away
family.
From after you spent 6 episodes cavorting with him. Yes.
And he was sleeping with Beru before she got old.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, there's some good stories there.
There's no doubt that it's a great character, and there's plenty of stories there.
I will say
I'm all in as long as they don't screw it up.
The best character in that universe.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay,
I have
because every other character is tainted in some way, or
I have a child to prove it,
or just like I said. But this character's got a clear runway of storytelling in there. I know, Barry, you're gonna disagree, and you're gonna say Boba Fett is the best character in the Star Wars universe. No, don't go there, Barry, because I don't want to hear it again.
All I'm gonna say is that I think he's the character that's best suited to tell a story with, because you've got the actor who's the right age, and he's the age appropriate for that character in that role. Right. And unlike most of the other characters,
crappy material.
Most of the other characters are not. So this is the right time to do it.
It is the right time to do it, and I think, like I said, there's an interesting story there to tell. I mean, if we get to see 6 or even ultimately like 2 seasons of 8 or 12 episodes, and it ends with Darth Maul approaching him at the campfire, oh my God, that would be phenomenal.
No, that's the big question is: are they bailing on movies because they're gun shy? And like everything's a TV series now. Like, the only movies we know about, they still are mentioning
Rian Johnson.
Voldemort, the name that should not be mentioned.
And the
doing
Benioff
movies,
and Weiss, but we
the,
still also don't know, are those separate projects or the same project?
And honestly, if you ask me, those guys suck too. They ruined Game of Thrones. I could throw out all 6 movies.
You know, they just got a 9-figure deal to work at Netflix. A 9-figure deal.
And so they're now talking one movie. Honestly, I think they should let this franchise rest for 3 to 5 years and focus on the TV properties. I really do.
So what do we know?
If they roll Snake Eyes again, it's...
How do we know, though? That's the thing. We just know if it sucks.
There's two
no
things
ratings,
that are unknown right now. One,
no anything.
I think they're waiting to see what Episode 9 does. But they've also just invested over $1 billion in theme parks that they are not just going to stop putting movies out to support.
I totally disagree with you, Barry, because I think bad movies diminish interest in that theme park. I think there's enough residual interest in that I think...
Not if Episode 9 doesn't do well.
Episode 9 is going to do fine. But what I'm saying is...
Did you see that there were rumors out this week that Disney... And this is completely bullshit, but Disney was so disappointed with the opening of Star Wars Galaxies that they were thinking of repurposing it as an Aladdin land. This was literally an article that hit this week.
Yeah. There's a ton of articles out there saying that they're not happy with the attendance.
Bob Iger said it on their earnings call. He was upfront about it.
Yeah. So...
And did everyone stay away because they thought everyone was going to be there?
On their own earnings call, they gave multiple reasons for why they think attendance is down. One is that they have yet to allow annual pass holders into Galaxy's Edge, so they're still holding them off until the end of the summer. They just raised...
You can't get in if you have an annual pass? That's not true.
They weren't letting them in on the early reservations, or there was something where they were not allowing annual pass holders... Something. I didn't listen to the earnings call. I just read a review of it. They raised prices just before they opened Galaxy's Edge. And there was a third thing that they cited as...
Blue milk went bad.
What was that?
Okay.
The blue milk went bad?
Blue milk went bad.
But they on their own earnings call, they said that they probably expected what kind of the reaction would be, and the fact that the whole thing's not open yet. So there are other people that are saying, I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars to go on vacation when I can't even see the whole thing.
People following closely enough who know that all the attractions aren't open, but are not ecstatic to go anyways. I don't buy that. I think there's...
But it's not just Galaxy's Edge attendance that's down. It's overall Disney park attendance.
Exactly. That was where I was going to go with that. I think they're looking for minutia here. I think that everything as a whole was off.
The other thing they cited, I just remembered it. The other thing they cited was that all of the hotels in the area of Disneyland, in anticipation
bumped the prices
Star Wars
way
Land
up
opening,
in anticipation of being
jacked
filled.
their prices up, and so that was the combination of all those things is what they're saying why attendance was down.
Right. Yeah.
There's a 30-minute wait right now, and it's
right. So
6:40.
For full disclosure,
LA.
Both Dave and I will be out there next week at different times. No, can't say that.
Okay.
Don't say that.
There is
we're going by ourselves.
There is also a possibility that this franchise is suffering fatigue, and this is and I got to say, I mean, we're going to find out after the next movie. We're going to find out after the opening of the next movie, because the next movie could be phenomenal, but if there aren't lines for this movie,
no, you're right.
If people don't go crazy, and they have risked this for a long time because they have oversaturated licensing. They've gone as far out with this as they possibly could. They've done cosplay Barbies. They've done every possible Star Wars thing that you can imagine. You can't get away from this, and you can clearly draw a parallel to Marvel, okay? But Marvel is doing fresh and different things and succeeding at them. And
but the one thing that they have in their back pocket is The Mandalorian, which we have all seen footage of and think looks amazing. And if that's the direction they go, whether Episode 9 succeeds or fails, if they do that type of thing with Obi-Wan on TV and with The Mandalorian on TV and other things, and they charge anywhere from $6.99 to $20 a month, then they'll make money.
So there's two tests, okay? If you build it, they will come, and people don't show up for that streaming service in the numbers that they need, or this movie doesn't have lines around the block, this franchise is going into the locker for
and I can
five,
just tell you
going to
from
drag the streaming service is going to take Star Wars with it.
The
on
streaming service is going to succeed regardless of Star Wars.
But the Marvel stuff isn't there early. Okay.
Yeah, but you got to look
the
past
Marvel
that.
stuff
There's
isn't
a
there at
ton
the
of
opening,
other
and
stuff.
they're leading with the Star Wars stuff. And that's a mistake.
There's a ton of other stuff there, and the price is right, and
$6.99,
and they're going to do $12.99 combined ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus. This thing is going to, speaking from somebody who works in this industry, this thing is going to do unbelievable numbers, whether the Star Wars shows are good or not.
I think so too.
We'll see.
So let's put all that aside. I think we asked this question before. If it's done well, it's great to have a series. If we can get 8 episodes, 8 hours of Obi-Wan,
oh yeah, that's better than a 2-hour movie.
I don't need
way better than a movie. I'm much more excited about this than I am a movie.
You could do a nice little arc. I'm all for it. So
one of the potential problems I see with this is then next week they announce this. Okay, 2 weeks.
D23 is in a few days.
They announced this, and they're going ahead with this. This is 3 streaming TV series set in 3 different eras.
More. They've announced Mandalorian. They will have announced this. They've announced Cassian Andor series. And another one. Didn't they announce another one?
Cassian was the other one.
Cassian is the other one.
Okay, I thought there was one other.
Which are in 3 different eras.
Yes.
Is that good or bad?
It's bad. I think part of what they're up against right now is a non-linear narrative that confuses people. And I think we can keep track of this fine. I've said this before. We can keep track of this fine. I talk to normals all the time who do not understand what's happening when. And like I said, you can watch. They need to be interested in it. You can watch Captain America, the First Avenger, and figure out World War II is when it's taking place. You can't watch a Star Wars movie and figure out when it is in relation to the other things unless you're really into the characters.
The other show that I was thinking of is Clone Wars. They're bringing Clone Wars back. There's 4. It's not live action, but that's the 4th show. Yeah. I knew there was another one.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. It's, besides all the negativity, which I'm not a fan of. I think
Never.
I'm happy
Dave
that
just wants everybody to get along.
I do. What's the odds of him bringing this Mary Elizabeth Whitehead into the series with him?
Oh, instead, yeah.
He's up her ass he's in freaking Birds of Prey, which is a
she'll
disgrace.
be Aunt Beru.
She could be.
She could be. She's going to be the barkeep at the cantina. It's going to be
Bonnie Peace or whatever her name was, who played her in episode 3, is still working too. So if they wanted continuity, they'd bring her back.
No, they're bringing her, and then Owen's out of luck. Hey, a Jedi's banging my wife. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Move along.
Want to wait outside.
Exactly.
It's time to check the evaporators.
All right, enough about that. Let's go what's in the box relatively quickly.
What's in the box?
Barry, what's in the box?
So I'm going to show you something that is not what's in the box, but this is the Star Wars skiff toy that was made in 1985. This is actually the reissue of it from 2000. This is not the original skiff toy. Is very expensive. Loose, it'd go for $500, $600, $700. In a box, it's like way more. But this I've had in my collection for a while. This was they reissued it. I've had it for a while. They just made a brand new one, which I don't buy modern Star Wars toys anymore. But when I heard about this, I needed to get it. This is the new skiff. It is considerably bigger than the old skiff. And I've got photos I'll give you guys to post, but I have
Great.
vintage Star Wars figures displayed on this. I have 8 figures displayed on here, and they fit very comfortably. You could only fit about 4, maybe 5 if you squeeze them in on this one. The other really cool thing about this is it's mounted on like a desert base, and you can actually tilt it, so you get a lot of display options out of it. It's got the
So you could have Boba falling off.
totally could have Boba Fett falling off. All this stuff is articulated
Like a bitch.
Like a bitch.
like the bitch that he is. It's got the plank for Luke to walk on if you want to have that. These rails break away. It's actually a great toy. $40 on Amazon, so not a bad price.
That's great.
And it's
Barry, you got to take pictures of the two of them side by side with some sort of like measurement reference, because as you hold them, they look identical.
yeah.
size.
No,
I
I
agree
took
with
pictures,
that.
and I mean you can even see if I sort of stand them side by side.
Oh, okay.
How much
that
bigger,
that
yeah.
perspective's better.
Yeah, I mean you could
Yep.
fit the old one inside the new one. It's that much bigger. So,
Okay, cool. No, that's
yeah,
great.
so this is what was in the box. Got it from Amazon, $40. Really cool toy. Todd.
Good paint scheme too.
Yeah, really good paint scheme. Todd, what's in the box?
Yep. Okay, this is something I've been waiting for a long time to find. This is probably the last Eagle Moss Batman thing that I wanted.
Ooh,
this is
Batwing.
the Batwing, and these are really hard to find in the U.S. This was like this is one of the like join the membership incentive things from the UK. Really well done. Probably the best rendition of the Batwing from Dave's favorite film, and really pleased to get it. I want to take it off this ridiculously huge base and put it in my display case. It will not stand up on its own, so I'm going to actually 3D print something or maybe laser cut something for it to fit on. But yeah, very excited to get this finally. They sell for, I think, a ridiculous amount of money, and then you got to pay shipping from the UK. I got this one. I found this one super cheap. I found it for. I basically got it for starting bid, and it was the cheapest I've seen one sell. And I would have gone twice what I paid, so it was very good.
Nice.
Barry, do you have the Batmobile from Batman, the first Batman film, the '89 Batman film?
I do. I have the large Hot Wheels one that came out like in the 80s.
You get that one too. Dave, do you have that Batmobile from the Batman movie?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it also came with another one of those, so I have 2 of them already. So I will give that to you because I know you love it so
Dave's
much.
favorite.
I like the Batmobile as long as it doesn't say anything about Tim Burton.
It does not, and it's the Anton First Batmobile, which is just awesome.
Nice.
So, anyways, but I've already got a couple of those. So, and that was with it. So,
Oh, wow.
really good. Dave, what's in the box?
This, thanks to our pal Sean Huckster. Do you guys recognize what this is?
Oh
Ooh, yeah.
This is the glass, the whiskey glass from Blade Runner. These go for $200 to $300 for a pair. They even had an issue of them for the new movie that came out. I guess the original company that made it. Sean apparently found them on Amazon for $27 for 4.
And they're sold out right now. And it's a good thing because if they weren't, I was getting you a set for Christmas.
Oh.
So I was going to get 2 sets and set one aside for Christmas. But okay, so you got them.
Well, I mean, it's obviously just glass and not Italian crystal, but it looks pretty much the exact same shape. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
I thought I'd put this on my shelf. So you didn't get them.
I did not get them. They were sold
I got
out.
4. If you guys each want one, you're more than welcome. I mean,
Okay.
he only drinks out of one,
Sure.
Yeah,
if you want one,
that's
you're
cool.
more
If I can't get a set, because I did, he mentioned it to me, and I was too late. But my first thought was this would be a totally great Dave gift. So
Thank you. Well, you know how we are. You can't buy for us; we buy for ourselves.
Right.
But
Yep.
yeah, it looks. I just put it with my collection, my little Blade Runner collection. But it's really heavy. So, but there's no way you want to buy the crystal ones unless you just got money to burn.
no, it's crazy.
So that's what's in the box. Okay, before we wrap up, so last week was our 300th episode. We got a lot of nice, all kinds of stuff. Mentions on Instagram, right, and Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, we had actually, put it out there that if anybody wanted to send us a message, we might play it or read it or talk about it on the show. So, and we got a lot of good feedback congratulating us, and then a lot of people commenting after they heard the show as well. So it was nice.
Yes. So people called in to the voicemail line or sent us recordings. We're going to tack a few of them on the end of the show. So thank you all who.
Thank you all for doing it. We can't do everybody, but we're going to pull a sampling out. So
yeah.
And I was amazed at how many people said that they actually did watch the whole movie and listen to our commentary. Like we didn't know if anybody would actually do that, and a bunch of people did. So.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was a little surprised. People were like, "Oh, I watched it," and we gave a code word at the end that you'll be in a drawing to win the new official 300 episode Regular Joe's Glass, and we've got a bunch already. So, boy, it was only the first couple of days. You actually guys sat through 2 hours and 20 minutes of a show, but thank you. I mean, unless people just fast forward to
I guess that's possible, but
hear the code word. If that's what you did, that's fine too. But we'll let you know in a week or so, or next episode or whatever, who we're choosing for that scenario. So, any last thoughts?
We are taking a week off, right? So we'll be back soon with our next episode.
We will. Todd, any other last thoughts?
I'm looking for it. Hang on.
Oh, he has...
I just want to make sure I get the name right.
We're also... Don't forget, November, Rhode Island Comic Con. We'll be there.
Will.
7th or 8th year? I don't know which one.
Okay, so last week, I almost texted you guys this, and I realized that I found it later. I never hit send on it. Last week, an actress named Barbara March passed away. So either you know who that was?
I know the name, yeah.
Okay. She was most known, at least most known to us, for playing Lursa. Okay.
Oh, right.
Okay. Of the Duras sisters. So if you listeners are Star Trek fans and you find an appropriate time in the next week, look to the heavens and howl and let them know that a Klingon warrior comes their way. So,
what is the appropriate howl? Is it Qapla'?
Yes. Yep. And she just passed away. But again, it's
Yeah, she was young too.
Far too young.
Yeah.
And on that down note,
Unleash the dogs of war.
down tempo note. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Hey guys, it's Whitey. I just wanted to call and congratulate you on 300 awesome episodes. I found you guys probably about 100 episodes in, and I was just blown away. Like, these guys and I share so much. We're into so many of the same things. All the movies, all the sci-fi, all the props, and I've enjoyed all the shows. I went back and listened to all of them from the beginning, and it was a pleasure meeting you guys at JoeCon a couple times now, especially out in Colorado. We get to sit down and really talk, and I always tell everybody that your show is like meeting up with a couple old friends every week, and I save them. I do a lot of traveling for work, and I save them up. Sometimes it puts me a little behind the curve with stuff, but it's always just so nice to have those during long commutes or while I'm traveling and really enjoy them quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to another 300 episodes, and thanks for all you do. It's so fantastic, all the work that you put into it. It's so well produced, such a great show, all the content, the humor, all of it. And I enjoy it. And like I said, looking forward to another 300 episodes. Thanks, guys.
Hey, guys. This is Greg, Dave's brother. Just wanted to say congratulations on your upcoming 300th episode. I listen to you all every week walking to work, and it's been a blast. Lots of good info, insight, and just great banter between the three of you. So keep up the good work, and thanks for everything you do. Take care.
Hey guys, it's Daryl DePriest, the fourth regular show. Congratulations on your 300th episode. It's been phenomenal to be your guys' pal over the years. You've become some of my best friends. I love hanging out with you. And here's to the next 300. Cheers.
Text from Doug Monroe. Hey guys, as you approach your 300th episode, I can't help but think that's a staggering amount of work and man hours you have put into the show. I've listened to all of them and you guys are always entertaining and a lot of fun. Congratulations on this anniversary. I'm looking forward to another 300 episodes and more.
Hey guys, this is Dustin Clark in Omaha, Nebraska. Wanted to call and congratulate you on 300 episodes. Been listening since show number 1 with my wife, Kelly. She's been mentioned a few times as we've emailed and talked to you guys. Wanted to let you know that you guys are the inspiration behind me getting into collecting G.I. Joes. When I first looked at collecting and getting my G.I. Joes out of storage, I found the Aesop Adventures along with Sean Huckster's website and his photo dioramas for G.I. Joes, and it just really made me excited to get back into the G.I. Joe collecting. I was lucky enough to meet Barry at the 2009 convention in Kansas City when Charlotte introduced me to him after his talk about the G.I. Joe artwork that was used on the boxes back in the 70s on the Adventure Team packaging. And just wanted to give one last thank you for all your guys' support during my cancer treatment last year. It was quite a shock to be listening to your podcast. I would listen to your podcast during the chemo treatments that lasted 4 hours long. I'd have a bunch of podcasts I would listen to, and it was really surprising. I had to pull all the nurses and whatnot over so that they could get to hear you guys mention me, and they thought that was really great. So, again, congratulations on 300 episodes. Look forward to at least 300 more.
Text from Ibn. Been listening to you guys for over 6 years. Found out via a G.I. Joe toy show when I got a free club magazine and saw the regular Joe's comic in the back. Looked you guys up and found out you had a podcast. In 2014 I had to drive for military training from Virginia to Kentucky and binged all episodes. Really happy to have run into you guys at Celebration this year. Highlight of my trip. Also my Hot Toys collection grew around the same time. In 2014, I only had 3, now I have close to 70.